Okay, hey, my name is Marcelle Morgan. The kids call me Mrs. Morgan. I teach science for Team C, and I actually went to school here. I was a 7th grader and an 8th grader here when this was the junior high, and I did my student teaching here, and I started teaching here a very long time ago, but I'm getting to be the long-term sub for Mr. Farrow, so I will be here until the winter break, and then Mr. Farrow will be coming back and taking over.
Hey, I'm Mr. Hedin. I'm working with Mr. Price as a student teacher in Team D. I've taught before and I'm happy to be here to be getting my graduate degree for teaching. I have a background in chemistry. I'm really excited to be working in the science room, and I'm here to do whatever I can to help out around the class.
Hi, I'm Norm Price. I teach science on Team D, and I've been teaching here for a long time, since 1990 actually, and I've been loving every minute of it. I'm really excited to be working with your students, your children, and they've been great so far. I'm excited to tell you about some of the things we're going to do this year. I want to talk to you about how we start class. So, when students come in, they need a couple things. They need a pencil. So, sometimes they don't have a pencil. They got to look in this box. Come over here. Look in this box. If they don't find a pencil, they got to find a pencil here. We're running out of pencils. So, give your kids some pencils. Then they need their homework folder, they need an assignment book, and they need a 3-ring binder. And what we'll do is we'll explain what's going to happen. And if there's homework, they're going to look up here on this homework board, and they're going to write a bunch of stuff down that they have to do in their due dates, which these are the things that you can check at home, because that's what goes home. One last little thing we do sometimes to start, we play a little quiz game, which we have a lot of fun with. So that's how we start class.
All right, welcome to C Team Science. This is the science classroom. When your student walks into class, they know to look up in the front of the room and they can see what the plan is for the day. They always come in and they get their binder, their science binder that lives here in class. And then they come and they will hand in any work that they have. And then they come in and they take a seat. And we always sit for a minute and we try to get quiet. And then we start class. Okay, so what we cover in 7th grade is basically biology, and the units that we include, and the ones that we've started on so far: experimenting, is it alive, cells, the human body systems, genetics, evolution, and ecology. So here is our display to try to show you a little bit about what we've been doing in our classroom. When it came to experimenting, we used the crayfish, and I'm hoping that your student came home and told you a little bit about the crayfish, and the gutter that we used as a slide while we measured how fast we could make a crayfish go. So we did a lot of experimenting, and then now we're moving into, is it alive, and how can we tell the characteristics of life? One of the things that we did when we studied the crayfish is we had the students all draw the crayfish. So these are examples of some of the crayfish diagrams that they completed this year in 7th grade science.
So one of the next units we're coming to is cells. What we're going to be doing is looking at animal and plant cells, looking at how they're the same and different. We'll be observing them under the microscopes and understanding how the equipment works. We want to also be looking at the organelles of animal and plant cells and trying to get a better understanding of what those are and how they work. We'll also be making models of the cells.
In human body systems, we focus on the respiratory, the digestive, and the circulatory system, and look at how those 3 systems work together to help us move. In genetics, we're trying to figure out how parents pass traits to their offspring. We'll do that with fast plants using this awesome light table, and we'll also model it with these creatures we call paper pets. In the next unit, which is evolution, we're going to look at some labs on natural selection and look at how natural selection acts as a mechanism which creates the diversity of living things.
So in the springtime, we'll be doing ecology. We'll be heading outside to understand our local environment, how the plants and animals there interact and work together and create the wonderful ecosystem we have here.
So the 3 of us work together to create hands-on,
Minds on
Fun.
fun.